Hi everyone, I am Sharon and this vlog is about culture, the meaning, the characteristics, and the function. So, let's start. Meaning of culture. Culture has certain features such as speech, manner, taste, literature, music, or painting to distinguish from others. In this sense, it refers to a certain personal characteristics of an individual. Next is culture is used in celebration, entertainment, or a cultural show. And in this sense, it identified with aesthetic and fine arts such as dance, music, or drama. And the last meaning of culture is used in a special sense in terms of anthropology and sociology. In this sense, it refers to the sum of their behavior, beliefs, feelings, thoughts in human beings' life ways. Next is the characteristics of culture. Number 1, learned behavior. Not all behavior is learned, but most of it is learned. Culture is a learned behavior because no one is born with an inherent understanding of their culture. They must learn it as they grow. And number 2 is culture is abstract. Culture exists in the minds or habits of the members of the society. Culture is the shared ways of doing and thinking. This is possible by putting down implicit cultural references to certain structures on the next level. And next characteristic is the culture is a pattern of learned behavior. The definition of culture indicated that the learned behavior of people is patterned. It can also be described as the complex whole of collective human beliefs with a structured stage of civilization that can be specific to a nation or time period. Number 4 characteristic is culture is the products of behavior. Culture learnings are the products of behavior. The experiences of other people are impressed on one as he grows up, and also many of his traits and abilities have grown out of his own past behavior. Number 5 characteristic of a culture is culture includes attitudes, values, knowledge. It is easy to underestimate the uniqueness of one's own attitudes and ideas. Cultural values are the core principles and ideals upon which an entire community exists. Number 6 is culture also includes material objects. Man's behavior results in creating objects. Material culture refers to the physical object resources and spaces that people use to define their culture. Number 7 is culture is shared by the members of society. It possessed not by one or a few persons but usually by a large proportion. However, this is not the sense in which the word culture is used and understood in social sciences. Number 8 is culture is superorganic. It implies that culture is somehow superior to nature. The superorganic is another way of describing and understanding culture or the socio-cultural system. Next is culture is pervasive. Culture is pervasive, it touches every aspect of life. Culture provides an unquestioned context. Word pervasive means widespread, prevalent, and diffusive. Number 10 is culture is a way of life. Culture defines the design for living of a people. It is the overall attitude, customs, and beliefs that distinguishes one culture from another. And next is culture is a human product. Culture is not a force operating by itself. Products are the tangible and intangible creations of particular culture. They reflect a culture's perspectives. Number 12 is culture is realistic. Culture embodies the ideas and norms of a group. It is a set of ideal goals before individuals which is worth attaining. In other words, culture is a sum total of ideas and values of individuals in a society. Number 13 is culture is transmitted among members of society. The cultural ways are learned by persons from persons. The cultural elements do not persist in one generation but are transmitted to the next generation and survive the entire lifespan of an individual. And number 14 is culture is continually changing. Culture, the fact of unending change. Culture is always changing. Once we're aware of that, we can take actions, take it intentionally in positive ways. And next is the number 15. Culture is variable. Culture varies from society to society and group to group. Culture should be understood as having multiple levels or dimensions. Number 16. Culture is an integrated system. Culture possesses an order and a system. It is a culture is learned and shared by members of a group and based on the ability to think in terms of symbols. And lastly, language is a chief vehicle of culture. Man lives not only in the present but also in the past and future. Although culture is transmitted in a variety of ways, language is one of the most important vehicles for perpetuating cultural patterns. And now here we go to the functions of culture. Number 1. Culture defines situation. Each culture has many subtitles clues which define each situation. The individual normally learns them as consciously as he learns the language, attitudes, or tendencies to feel and act in certain ways. A next function is culture defines attitudes, values, and goals. Each person learns in culture what is good, true, and beautiful. It is the culture which conditions our attitudes towards various issues, such as religion, morality, marriage, science, family planning, prostitution, and so on. And the third function is culture defines myth, legends, and the supernatural. Myths and legends are important parts of every culture. Ghosts are real to people who believe in them and who act upon his beliefs. Myths and legends are powerful forces in the group's behavior. And lastly, is the culture provides behavior patterns. The individual needs to go through painful trials and error to learn. Culture helps in understanding and predicting the human behavior, and also it provides channels of interactions for individuals within the groups.